Ave Legion and welcome to my channel. My name is Ludi and today we're going to do our jiangzhou into qing guide. If we get 3,000 likes on this video, I am going to do another guide for the nation of Mongolia. And if you guys are interested in watching me do this live, I will likely start a brand new jiangzhou game on Twitch. So check it out. So the first thing we're going to do obviously is we're going to set our amazing starting leader and general as the leader of our armies, and we're going to move him over to Maulian, as well as we will be recruiting our special units, the Banner Cavalry. 4 of these units, we're going to put them also in Maulian. They start with almost no manpower. They will eventually get enough manpower, and they only use 25% manpower, so 750 people are obviously clones from the future. The fleet is absolutely useless, by the way. We're only going to set up the one light ship fleet that we have to protect trade in Jiren, but the rest of them we're going to actually sell, and we will be selling them to a Ming, a part of them. The rest we're going to sell to a Nivk and whoever else is interested in buying our ships. If you cannot sell all of them, the rest of them just simply disband them, as you really don't need them. To fuel our early wars, we're also going to be selling titles, and we will be seizing a little bit of lands afterwards. We've also summoned the Diet and went for, well, the only agenda available to us. Also gave out the greater autonomy for chieftains and larger tribal hosts. Now, in order to form Manchu first, before we form Qing, we need to adopt the Manchu identity, for which we need to have the province of Jilin and 20 Jurchen or Manchu culture provinces. That means 20 provinces in here. Essentially, we must attack Haixi at the very start. Because we are a horde, we have the tribal feud CB, and on the 11th of December, we can just directly attack the nation of Haixi, and that is our main goal for the time being. They have allied Donghai. 90% of the times I've noticed they ally Donghai. Sometimes they ally Udege, which is actually not that bad. Makes it a little bit easier since this is all we need with a couple of extra provinces to form Manchu, but it doesn't always happen. So regardless, get ready for the war. You can start by sending a spy network in Donghai, and you're going to need one afterwards in Haixi also, so that we siege stuff faster. On the 11th exactly, we will be setting Jilin as our war target and co-belligerate the nation of Donghai, so you can fully annex both of these nations. The superior troops that we start off with are going to absolutely slaughter the army of Haixi. That was an absolute stack wipe, and yes, I am using absolute without the proper context. Just okay, whatever, bruh. One more thing I want to mention is that you need to set Haixi, Udege, and Donghai as your first 3 rivals, as these are going to be your first 3 targets and dead nations to come, and afterwards we'll set the rest of the people around here as our rivals. Jiren was taken really fast simply because of this absolute Chad Lord of a leader that we have. Also, I just realized this. Aising Gyoro, isn't this the guy from Hoi4 in Manchuria? Hold up a second, how old is that guy? This also gave our banner units a little bit of time to get reinforced, so we can attack the nation of Donghai here and crush their troops in combat. Although I just realized they attack in mountains. Do not attack in mountains, boys. Do not attack in mountains. We're gonna still win this, but you don't want to attack in mountains with cavalry unit, albeit everything here is mounts. So I guess, yeah, that was a close call. That was a close call. Ludi the noob. Do not underestimate Donghai. They have a pretty decent leader here. Well, general, that is. As I carpet siege everything, I can now piece them out, take everything I can from there, and kill off the separatists afterwards. Most importantly, though, I am also going to be doing the same thing with the nation of Haixi, which means I'm going to get a coalition here. So before I even piece these guys out, I'm going to be attacking the nation of Udege, which is allied to Korchin. Korchin always gets attacked by Ming, since Ming wants to enforce them as a tributary, so you can just wait until they don't join so you can attack. Also gonna wipe out these rebels scum here, the former nation of Donghai, whatever is left of it, of course. And let's check it now. I think, there you go, they're not gonna be joined by Korchin, so that means we can just take these provinces for ourselves quite easily now. Let's take a Horde as our main target, since it's right next to us here, and let's start rushing towards it. China pieced them out, and now Korchin is a tributary of China. I also did not piece out Haixi yet, as I kinda have a secondary fort in Jilin, which these guys might go for. That's gonna make it easier for me, since it means I can just focus on fully occupying them before attacking their army also. After a very long time, this siege has finished, and we can finally piece these guys out. We've also annexed in the meanwhile the nation of Haixi, and we're gonna take all the cash we can from these boys. It is gonna give us a coalition of everybody in the northern area here in Manchuria, but it's not a big deal since we are gonna be attacking them anyway. Guys, you should also know that I am not raising provinces or concentrating development in any of the Jurchen provinces, because whatever you see here Jurchen is your main culture. It will become Manchu afterwards, and the amount of Manchu slash Jurchen provinces that you have equals the amount of banner units that you can recruit. So the more provinces with your culture, the more banner units you can have, and banner units are insanely overpowered. As you can see here, we got 5% discipline, only uses 250 manpower but gives you 1,000, and only costs 50% the price of regular units. So you want to have as many banner units as possible. Everything else that is not Manchu, raise the schnitzel out of course. With Udege here, or arm hair as we like to say in Japanese, fully annexed, we now can just destroy their separatists, and that's going to be the end of them. Get some new rivals here and encourage divinization, or whatever that is. Now we just need to wait for the cores to finish coring up, of course. And because we don't want nations to actually join in a coalition against us, we're going to be attacking them separately, so we'll have separate wars against everyone here and finish them one by one. This way it prevents them from actually joining into any coalitions against us. So aside from the Korchin war, we've also declared war on Nifk and Solon in separate wars. Well, they're in the same war, I mean separate from Korchin, and we will do on Yeren too. However, I need more troops, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to recruit the Free Company for the time being, so it helps me out with sieging down stuff, and if I need more, I'll recruit the other independent companies and Gramp companies as well. It is important that you occupy their provinces before they start recruiting one unit in every single province, and that can be quite annoying. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Benny Hill Show, where we have to chase armies around the whole world because they don't want to die or fight us like men. In any case, one more thing I wanted to say is that whenever you're coring up the Jurchen areas here, do not core the expensive ones. So like for example, Yehe is 96, this one's 64, this one's 85. Do not core these up. You only need 20 provinces to be cores and Jurchen provinces at the same time. So you can core the really cheap ones, and the really expensive ones are going to automatically become a core after you form Manchuria, since you get a full core on all of the Manchurian region. That means all of this becomes your full core right after you form Manchuria, which is why I'm not going to core these areas also after I conquer them in the war. Also, once you've done your mission here, unite the Jurchen tribes, which is quite easy to do. You just need 25 provinces, and you got to own the Jurchen areas too. This is going to give you permanent claims on the Chinese areas here and the Mongolian parts, as well as a general 4452, and that means he's an absolute mad lord and Chad. Look at this bad boy here, unbelievable. We're gonna put him in charge of this army here, and we're gonna speed up the siege of Darren. No, Tolo's gonna die. Is Tolo good? No, he's decent. Oh well. Alright, so now we can get another heir, I guess. Royal marriages go burr. And after we finish this guy here, all we need to do is just piece them all out. In fact, I'm going to piece out the Korchin now, and I'm going to take all of this area here. It's not too much. It's actually okay, acceptable, let's say. And after this, we're going to raise the lands, since these are not Jurchen lands. And with the raising of these lands, I'm getting a lot of mana points, which I'm going to use to core these lands up afterwards. And even going to use the money to fuel my wars. It's weird how the Hordes are the most technologically advanced nations in EU4 because of the raise mechanic. It's not. That needs to be fixed, guys. Alright, let's core up the Korchin areas here. 12 mana points to core that up is pretty cheap. And we are going to attack these guys too. We're going to go with Show Superiority, which is our special Horde 75% aggressive expansion CB. And this area is absolutely amazing, economically speaking, so we're going to really benefit from that a lot. Despite attacking in a mountainous area, we are absolutely crushing them because Hordes are overpowered. As I said before, you need to pay attention, sir. All right, we're gonna crush everyone here, and there you go. Go here as well. We're gonna take their fort and quickly piece them out. We're not taking all of this area now. We're just taking about half or so of it, enough so that we can economically support ourselves and mana wise support ourselves for the next while. We're gonna piece out the northern countries for the time being. There you go. And let's see what our overextension is like. 82. All right, that's quite a bit of overextension, but after we raise these these lands, it's going to be a lot less than that. So there you go. And one more here. Same thing we're going to do with Solon. And voila, that is the end of bad boys here, which means that we can now attack Yeren, but we'll attack Yeren after we form Manchu, since we got to be at peace to form Manchu. Remember, don't core any of these. You're going to get free cores on these after you've formed Manchuria. Oh, arrivederci, boys. Thank you for visiting Manchuria. I know, it's a beautiful place, but you need to go back. Sorry. Did you get stack wiped? Yeah, that happens when you're fighting the Jurchon. Hell yeah, boys. Hell yeah. Also, I don't even know what to do with my military points, since I got a lot of them. Probably I'm gonna go for Tech 5. I am gonna go for Tech 5. Now, because we don't have a fleet, it's gonna take a little bit longer to seize your capital, but it's okay. They don't have any more armies, so there you go. 0 armies. We stack wiped their entire army a few times, and they decided that, nope, we're not gonna fight you anymore. That's it. That's the end of us. Like I said, cannot take everything in the first war, but we can take a sizable chunk, and we are doing exactly that. We've also taken as much money as we can take, since it is gonna help us a lot. We have to also fight the Ming, and we also have to fight Yeren right now. Before anything else, we are going to be adopting the Manchurian identity. Yes, please. Ambitions and traditions. And yes, I said that the other way around. There you go. We got cores on this. We got cores on that. We got cores on the Ming as well. And the best part is that we only need to core up the newly added lands to the south here. We're going to obviously be raising everything first off. And remember that you can also concentrate in 1.31 before you do raise it, as long as it has enough development beforehand. I recommend that you also make everything here a full state, just in case you haven't already, so that you can recruit more banner units. We've reached a point where sadly Yeren allied Oirats and the Ming still don't have below 50 Mandate of Heaven. Now, when do you attack Ming? You attack them after they've done their first celestial reform, because that's when their mandate goes down and they get massive debuffs for their armies. Until that point, and that will happen soon, we will attack Mongolia. However, we cannot just attack Mongolia and co-belligerate Yeren, which we're also interested in. So we're going to attack Yeren, co-belligerate Oirat, and we are going to use the tribal feud, not reconquest, even though we have cores on all of this, because with tribal feud, we can take more lands from Mongolia, and these are anyway like 3 development, so it's really not a massive deal here. So this is essentially a very 5-head move right here. When you're ready, go for it, and we will have a very fast war against Oirat and Yeren. One really important thing to keep in mind whenever you're fighting against the Oirats is the fact that the first war is not going to be that great, since you cannot directly declare war on the Oirats. You have to do it on Mongolia. Because of that, we're going to take a few provinces and commit the border gore from Mongolia, so that in the next war we can directly get our CB on the Oirats themselves, and in the process piss off all the people with the OCD in the chat. We're next up going to fully annex the nation of Yeren. Also, wait for a day, because you cannot do it in the same day. And I just realized I forgot to get the money from the Oirats deal, but hey, I'm rich, right? Not really. Should have gotten the money. It's alright. It's all good. It's all good. We're going back now so we can get ready for the war against Ming. In order to help the Ming lose its mandate, we're going to cancel our tributary status. This is going to give us -1 stability, but it's not such a big deal. It is important because this is going to give the nation of Ming a massive disaster, as they do have a horde with 300 development by their borders. This also means that after 1 month we actually become a great power, since we do have a little bit of extra dev now, and because I am not going to wait for the mandate to go down below 50, I will declare on them, since they already declared on Oirat, so they would be fighting on 2 different fronts. If you're not an absolute Chad map gamer, I recommend until they do the first reform that you do not attack them, but if you feel like you can manage this, and trust me, it's not really that hard, then declare the war, and you can go for the Take Mandate of Heaven CB, which gives you 50% aggressive expansion and 50% cost for all of their provinces. But here's the thing, we're not actually going to take the mandate at all. We're just going to continuously use this mandate to annex all of Ming much faster than we otherwise would be, and destroy the mandate altogether, since the Mandate of Heaven is the worst thing that can happen to your nation. You can form the nation of Qing by owning these provinces or being Emperor of China, or completely destroying the mandate and upgrading your government type to an empire. So you can still form Qing and continue to reap the benefits of being an absolute Chad lord Lord Horde until the point without taking the mandate. There you go. Ming's got the nomadic fears disaster. Make sure that you rush the capital city of Beijing. The sooner we take this, the faster we win the war, since Beijing is our war target with the Mandate of Heaven CB. Once you reach Beijing, you can also do your mission, bypass the Great Wall. That is going to give you a really interesting general. Not amazing, but not that bad either. As well as minus 50 defensiveness for both Beijing and Shenyang. As expected, the mandate is now 20, which means that their troops are made out of paper. They take 30% more fire damage and shock damage. So essentially, this 8,000 unit here can probably defeat 30,000 unit that they have in this area. I will, however, reinforce it with a few extra troops. There you go. As I was saying, 8,000 against 8,000 troops, but we are definitely winning these battles a lot easier than we would otherwise. Beijing is falling very fast as well because of the minus 50% defensiveness debuff. Let's see how our troops fare against the might of the Ming Empire here. We're getting attacked by eventually double the amount of troops that we have, and we also managed to take Beijing, by the way, so we can rush our troops back into Shenyang to reinforce our units. Looks like we're about to win both of these battles, as long as they don't reinforce massively in this short amount of time. And this one, because this is our main cavalry force, actually was a stack wipe. We literally stack wiped 12,000 units of the mighty Ming Empire. There you go. Let's wipe out the rest of their armies here. This is absolutely amazing. Another 13,000 wiped out, and I'm keep getting gifts from all the various tributaries of Ming, by the way. There you go. We should be able to wipe out these 13,000 as well, or actually just 2,000. The other ones managed to escape. Hot diggity dog. Well, no problemo. We'll chase you guys down and show you who's the boss. Can we get an F in the chat for the mighty Ming Chinese army here? Another one bites the dust, and the last of them that are in Beijing will be falling to our swords very shortly too. Oh, how I love the smell of dead Ming in the morning. That sounds weird. I'm not going to use that. So Ming right now is literally just free real estate. I'm going to be taking all the cash that I can take from them, as well as the northern parts here before the Oirats take them. Basically a race now to see who can take all of these lands first. A few battles later, we are ready to peace out the Chinese, and we're taking all of these lands. They vassalized Cochin, so we're taking those lands too. It is very important that you take Beijing itself in the first war, and remember, you do not want to claim the Mandate of Heaven. Don't do it. Never do this. We're also taking all of their cash. Coalition-wise, nobody's joining because they're too scared shitless to join against us. And we also tactically took the province by the border with Kham, since we will be attacking Kham right after we've repositioned our troops, which means Ming is going to join for a second war, which means another 2,800 ducat taken in a single war from Ming. Of course, we will be raising all of these lands to get all the mana points in the world and to core them afterwards for a lot less than we would otherwise be coring it for. It's vital that you take the fort in Datong also, so that the Ming nation cannot use the forts to recover its lost prosperity, because forts actually lower the devastation in provinces a lot faster. If they don't have forts, they cannot lower their devastation. So that's just massive brain right there. Our troops have been repositioned, and we are attacking Kham, which means Ming is joining in again. Oh dear, the nation of Yu is coming into this as well, so I'm not sure if we're gonna win this anymore, because Yu is just too strong. All right, now we can finish off the Ming nation very fast also for the second time. The second Ming war has been finished very fast, and we are taking only all the money that we can take from them. We basically taken around 5,000 to 6,000 ducats from them in the span of 3 years. That is just ridiculous. We now are gonna finish off Kham, and we will be going for the full annexation of this nation. Why? Because we can. The purpose of the second war against Ming is to prevent having 15 years truce with them. Instead, we only have 7 years truce, half the amount of time that we would have had to wait for otherwise. And as promised, we're fully annexationing these guys. There you go. More blood for the blood god, of course. Burn, come burn. Absolutely insane how overpowered hordes are in this game. With the newly added borders, we can attack Tsang or Tong, whatever you call it, and make our way into India, as well as attack Chagatai, Sarik Yogir to break the truce with Oirats, and so on. However, before I do all of these things, I'm going to take care of the rebels, stabilize my country a little bit, do a little bit of recruitment as well, and get ready for the war against these guys so we can finish them off. The truce is over, which means we're about about to attack them once more, and we're gonna go with the tribal conquest so we get less aggressive expansion from this. Of course, one more thing I should have mentioned is that you want to culturally convert as many lands to Manchu as possible, because the more provinces that you have Manchu, the more banners you can raise. Banners directly are affected by the amount of your own main Manchu culture provinces. Another very easy war. Sadly, we cannot fully annex them because it's a pretty big nation, but we can get a lot of admin, diplo, and military points from this nation, and we can use these points to start spawning in the Renaissance. I'm already at 21% here. As you can see, every time I dev it up once, it goes up 25%, 29%, and so on. Eventually, I'll be able to spawn this in, which means I'm not going to get the debuff from not having Renaissance adopted in my country. 92, just a little bit more, and then we should be a-okay. Our truce with Ming was actually finishing faster than the one with the Oirat, so we'll be attacking Ming with the Take Mandate of Heaven CB again for 50% AE and 50% cost of taking all of their provinces. This is going to be a ridiculously easy war. We're going to rush for the forts as well as destroy all of their armies, since they still have 0 mandate, and they will keep on having 0 mandate until they pass away. After a very short war and a complete destruction of the nation of Ming, we can peace them out. It is vital that you take these lands surrounding Ming as well as all the cash that you can take, because once you've pieced out Ming for the 3rd time, 90% what's going to happen is they're going to explode into like 10 or 15 smaller nations. When that happens, you want to attack each of these nations once they appear and integrate them into your own empire. Also, by taking the south here, we ensure that nobody else attacks Ming. All of this juice land is going to be ours. Indeed, we are cock-blocking people massively right now. Remember to, of course, raise these lands before you core them up for the juicy extra points. Also, we are capped out on military points, so we're gonna do this. And we've also gotten the Renaissance in Jilin, which means that once we have 10% Renaissance, we can adopt it. So we just need to get a little bit more in the surrounding provinces here. We can also get the Invade China mission established right now. And what we gotta do next is take care of our rebels here. Since we have quite a few rebels, we'll use the peacetime that we have right now to stabilize the country and get it ready to attack everybody else around right after. Surprisingly, we managed to get some Buriati rebels that are very close to enforcing their demands actually, but we're not gonna let them do that, are we? There you go, rebels have been exterminated. Now we can go into the south. So let's discuss about our ideas. You obviously will be behind in admin tech a little bit, but you eventually will catch up. So once you do catch up, what ideas should you go for? Well, obviously you can go for horde ideas if you choose to stay as a horde. Other great ideas, especially if you're going for a world conquest, would be humanist ideas, or religious if you're planning to go for one faith, one culture, diplomatic ideas, influence ideas, and quantity to boost your already massive armies. Manchu is actually one of the best nations to do a world conquest with, so if you guys do leave that like and we get 4,000 likes, I am actually going to turn this into a world conquest guide, since we already have a pretty decent start, and by munching on the rest of China and making our way into the western part, we have all the economic base that we need to finish this world conquest by the 1600. You guys should also check out my Oirat guide, Oirat being another really great nation to do a world conquest with. I also want to give a very special thank you to all of my patrons and channel members, as well as my Twitch subscribers. Thank you so much guys for all the support. I wouldn't be able to make these videos without you.